I think what's happening. Propaganda.
As y'all know, Ed Schultz has called Laura Ingraham a slut. Now, why all of a sudden is that an issue? Liberalism has made a billion-dollar industry out of objectifying women and calling them detestable names. They do it as if every time they refer to a woman as such a demeaning term, $1 will go into their bank account. So they gotta be sure to use them bad words against them women as much as possible so they can stack them ducats. What's fascinating to me is that as detestable as the language is, it sells. Women be up in the club breaking a mean sweat to the most misogynistic music. But you better not go up to nail one of them and call them a slut, cause that will be a bad scene. And note to Ed, even the most promiscuous of women don't like to be referred to as a slut. I know, weird, right? What made you think it wasn't gonna be a bad scene if you called a woman who isn't promiscuous a slut? Let me help you out with that. Now, just like I alluded to earlier, typically, most promiscuous women will throw the biggest hissy fit if you call them a slut. And that's part of the reason why guys like Ed Schultz and David Letterman don't aim words like that at women who jump up on the table and flash them, for example. It's safer to refer to conservative women as such. Yeah, they'll catch a little backlash, but it'll blow over. Which means that these men are not only sexist, they're cowards. Now I know, I'm not supposed to say anything further about this because Ed has apologized, and as a Christian, I'm supposed to forgive him and accept his apology. Well, Ed Schultz didn't apologize to me, not that I'm expecting him to, I'm just exploiting that loophole. But seriously though, y'all, I have forgiven Ed for attacking one of our own and for attacking women in general. An attack that furthers the notion that no matter how much a woman tries to lead a respectable life, hell, we can still see her as a slut if we want to. Forgiving Ed Schultz doesn't mean he gets off the hook of reprimand. It just means that anger, hatred, and vengeance isn't my motive. I don't hate Ed Schultz. My opinion isn't driven by hatred. You want to see opinions driven by hatred? Listen to Ed Schultz. And I totally acknowledge his apology, y'all. He made no excuses, he didn't spin it, he didn't try to sugarcoat it, he didn't try to be facetious with it. He fully apologized with all the honor and humility he could muster, and I appreciate it. He put so much into that apology, it's almost as if he wanted you to think, okay, Ed, that's enough. What you did isn't that bad. No, that won't stand. No, I, Ed Schultz, done a terrible thing. I done a terrible thing. I must remove myself from the airwaves. I must flog myself. I'm gonna give myself the licking that I think I deserve before I let you determine what's good for me. How about that? But again, the trick is, if we conservatives pursue this, then we're the hypocrites. Don't you fall for it. Open your heart to forgiveness, absolutely. But that doesn't mean that we can't express our concerns about this and point out what's wrong with things like this so we can fix it and minimize occurrences like this. You would think that we shouldn't have to point out what's wrong with things like this, but for some reason, people still do stuff like this. It's like the 10 Commandments, y'all. You would think that people would know better than to kill, steal, and to bear false witness. But as it turns out, God said, dang, maybe I need to have this stuff written down for y'all as a reminder for people like Mr. Ed here who just bared false witness against Laura Ingraham. So Ed, if you really want to let us know you're sorry, I hope you will take it a step further than just apologizing for your action. But I hope you'll be a voice for speaking out against people like Bill Maher and David Letterman, Joy Behar, etc., men and women who say detestable things about other women that aren't true. Show us, Ed, because I got faith in you, man. Show us that MSNBC doesn't stand for mean-spirited, nasty broadcast company.